Reef is a 2 to 4 player game for ages 8 and up, with an average gameplay length of 30 to 45 minutes, published by Next Move Games. The basic overview of Reef has players taking turns doing one of two actions. Players can either draw a card or play a card. When playing a card, you will collect and place the coral pieces displayed on the top half of the card onto your player board, and if possible, score based on the bottom half of the card. Continue until one type of coral supply is empty. Finish the round and score any remaining cards in hand. The player with the most points wins. To set up the game, separate each coral by color and determine the number of players. If playing with 4 players, use all 28 coral pieces of each color. If playing with 3 players, 24 coral pieces of each color. And if playing with 2 players, use only 18 coral pieces of each color. Return all unused coral to the box. Take the player board with the shell on it, plus any extra boards to have a total equal to the number of players. Shuffle all boards and place one at random in front of each player. Next, each player will take 1 coral piece of each color from the supply and place them in any order on the 4 center squares on their player board. Now sort point tokens by value and place them within reach, and give each player 3 1-point tokens to start the game with. Next, shuffle the deck and deal 2 cards to each player as their starting hand. Then place the deck face up in the middle of the table. Draw and place 3 cards next to the main deck, and with that, setup is complete. Starting with the player with the shell on their board, they will take one of 2 actions. The first option is to draw one of the 3 face-up cards and put it into your hand. If you wish to draw the card on top of the main deck, you must place a single point token on the lowest printed point value card in the pool. Either way, you can only have a total of 4 cards in hand. The second option that can be taken is playing a card from your hand. When playing a card from your hand, you will place it to the side of your board in a face-up discard pile. Collect the 2 coral pieces on the top half of the card and place them on your reef. They can be placed anywhere, including on top of other coral pieces. However, you can only stack coral 4 high max, and once a piece of coral is placed, it will stay there for the remainder of the game. Once placed, look at the pattern shown on the bottom of the card you played. Look at the player board from the top. If you do not have the pattern, nothing happens. If you have the pattern, collect the number of point tokens on the card. If the pattern appears multiple times without any shared pieces, you can collect the reward each time it appears. Only the top view is relevant. Some patterns have numbers on them, and that has to do with the total number of corals stacked, but only the topmost coral color needs to match. If the number has a plus sign next to it, it has to at least be equal to or taller than the number listed. A couple of special cards have the wild coral on it, which means any and all coral that meet the pattern requirements score no matter the color. And finally, there are 8 cards with this special pattern. This card allows you to score 2 points for each one of the color pieces in the surrounding 8 spaces around the tallest stack of this color. If you have more than one of the tallest stacks of that color, you may choose which one to score. Each player will continue drawing or playing cards on their turn until at least one of the coral pieces runs out. Once that occurs, finish the current round. Then, any players that still have cards in their hand may score the pattern on those cards without collecting and placing any new tiles. However, when scoring this way, you can only score each pattern once, even if the pattern appears multiple times on your board. Once done, each player will count all of their point tokens, and the player with the highest total wins. In the case of a tie, The player with the most covered spaces on their board wins, and if still tied, the player with the most stacks of 4 coral wins. And that is how you play Reef. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified about new videos. If you're bored now, click this for more games.